us, Willingham.
You know.
We're totally married.
Oh my god. I cannot believe you submitted that.
I just like totally, I don't know. All right. We first met as extras on some random industrial shoot doing watermelon in the background. You know, just so that your mouth moves and you're not saying anything.
So yeah, we're literally talking to each other like.
For hours. That's all you do.
That's life.
It's a special kind of insane. But now, for me, in the beginning, I would just be nervous because I respect Laura's talent so much. I was like, oh man,
I've got a huge talent.
Well, I retract my previous statement. Wow.
Yeah.
But so I was a little awkward about it at first. I don't know how it was for her, but now we've done it more and more. Worked together more and more. This is going south real fast.
I didn't want to be that personal.
I know. There's just no way for it not to be. And more than anything, there's a great trust between us so that we can fully commit to characters that sometimes are allies, sometimes they're enemies, and especially when it's conflicting characters, we can go to places where we don't really like each other very much while we're shooting, and the trick is then leaving that on the stage or in the booth.
Which is hard. It can be really hard. When we were doing First Light, Infamous First Light, I hated his character so much that we would be recording together and I'd just be looking over at him like, every time you make that stupid voice, I hate that stupid voice, I hate your stupid character.
Eyes of the Dragon. I would look over and she'd just be dogging me, just like, I'm like, you okay? And she would go,
yeah, I just don't like you.
I don't like you. It's like, okay,
I don't like you.
all right, well, I'm not the character. I know.
I know, shut up.
Oh man, all right.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan of Saints Row, 3 and 4. It's very cathartic to make a person who looks like you and sounds like you when you get to beat people up. Dragon Age, huge fan of that, and I was so excited to get to voice an Inquisition.
So excited doesn't quite cover it, but
I was kind of jumping off the walls when I found out. Yeah.
Skyrim.
Skyrim, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big first-person shooter guy, Red Dead Redemption, Last of Us, so getting to be in any of the Call of Duty games, the Battlefield games, I love that. It'll never not be weird hearing your voice, even when you're screaming like, grenade! You're like, I don't believe you. You sound strange. What else?
It's weird though when you're playing and you forget that it's you. Because I feel like if the game is immersive enough, then you just start to ignore the fact that you've been a part of it and you get caught up.
Yeah, and the community of voice actors is such an amazing, loving family that we all know each other really well, and we've worked on enough games now that about 85% of the time you'll be walking through some random village or through Gotham and you'll be like, Steve Bloom, Liam O'Brien.
I was going to say Liam next.
Laura Bailey. Just naming Tara Platt, naming our people's names, stuff like that. So it's hard to like keep your fourth wall intact and not be like, I know all of these people.
It's so crazy going back and doing Trunks, because he was, one of the first voices I ever did, and I was still learning what the process was and what I was capable of when we were recording DBZ. And to go back and I just totally hit that. Sorry. To go back now and record Trunks, it's this weird paradox, weird dimension opening up above me, and I feel like, am I doing the same thing I did then? I mean, do I sound different? Do I sound at all better? Because I go back and listen to DBZ and I go, oh, what was I doing? That was not good. But there's enough people that are fans of the show that I think, I think if I changed it too much, people would be unhappy. So, yeah, it's fun.
All of a sudden, Trunks is extremely poised and
right?
And
no,
very well spoken.
He'll never be poised.
This is an interesting question for Laura because in video games, I love playing things evil. I love being bad. I got Slytherin as my house in Hogwarts. Like I just naturally lean towards abusing power.
So
So, but I ask her, she'll be walking through a game and there will be a pig walking across the street. I'm like, kill a pig. She's like, no, that's not my pig. I'm like,
not my pig, like I would kill my pig? No.
Yeah, she won't do anything wrong, even in a virtual sense. She can't do things that are evil. And I'm like, why? She goes, because I'll feel bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? It is pretend! And she won't do it.
I won't do it. But there's something really awesome than getting to play a villain, because you do get to do all of the things that you would never ever do in real life. It gets it all out. I feel like it lets those demons outside of you, and yeah, they can exist.
Lust was fantastic,
right? Yeah, you can have that. But then when if the villain then redeems himself, it's even better to me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you got all the bad, and you can still have the really great happy stuff.
I'm like the Emperor, and I'm just trying to get Darth Vader to go as bad as she can go. I come in all the time, and she'll be talking to some farmer. I'm like, kill the farmer. Kill the farmer.
So it must be really difficult for you to play King Roland, who is very nice.
Yeah. Well, the director said one really great thing. He was like, pretend like you're talking to your own children. And I was like, I got it. Oh, okay. But I love playing villains. It's so great. We're such fans of Marvel and of the franchise and the films, and we were avid comic book readers for years. And the dynamic they've established with that whole team is just so great, and all the stories and comics and movies that are branching off of that. The whole MCU is just amazing.
Yeah, and actually, Travis was cast earlier than I was for the series, because he had played Thor in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew he was going to be Thor already in the show, and Troy was going to be Loki. And Hawkeye, and I was like, ooh. And so I wanted so bad to get to be Black Widow, and when it happened, yeah. They throw erasers and pen caps at each other's
crotch.
Junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we record radio play style in this half circle, when everybody has their own individual microphones with a stand and a script in front of each other, so it becomes a game that, we have a pencil and we'll sit down, and then when someone's, trying to be very heroic, you gotta wing it right through the pencil. And maybe if you're lucky, it'll make contact, and he'll be like, listen, Doc, what do we need to do? Gotta keep straight face.
I always judge Roger, who plays Captain America, is always standing right next to me during the sessions, and I'll just stare up at him as he's doing his lines and going, no. That one was bad, do it again.
I think so Punisher and Daredevil were two fantastically intricate characters that I've loved since the late 90s. I read a ton of Wolverine when I was younger. I loved Alpha Flight. I feel like there are so many smaller stories of characters that they're just waiting to expand on. I don't know. Anything for you?
I would love to play Hannah in Rat Queens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
that would be amazing.
If you haven't read Rat Queens, check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's super good. I don't know.
I got to play Superman in a Lego Superman game, but it's like my dream to play a theatrical version of Superman, just because it meant so much to me as a kid growing up. But that's kind of not as unique answer. But it's true. I want to fly.
You want to be Peter Pan?
I know. The unique thing about fighting games is that when you're recording it, the structure is usually is always the same, right? You're not going to see a lot of exposition. You're not going to see any monologues. You're not going to see anything that really shows you who the character is. So your challenge is to get whatever personality exists in that character out in 5 words or 3 words, and it's going to be as fast as possible. The line sometimes, if it's 2.5 seconds long, you're like, oh, I got all day to say this. Because it could be 7 words, and they're like, we need it in 1.3 seconds.
It's crazy.
That's timed files and everything, so you really got to be on your game. Has it advanced much? I think it's kind of the same, but they've gotten they've become more creative with the characters, I would say. I mean, not that Street Fighter isn't creative, but those are those archetypes that you've known since Street Fighter 1, 2, and all the way up through it from the arcade days. And I think they're just getting more and more creative with the stories and the characters that they're making. It's kind of like someone just saying, here's the type of character that we think he is, and we want you to put it through your filter, right? So that can be kind of it can be kind of a hit or miss thing, and I'm sure they don't know how it's going to turn out, and we don't often know how it's going to turn out. I mean, a lot of times when you're auditioning for a character, you're just sending your voice type, and they're like, that sounds like what we think it could be. And then it's just the job of the actor and the director and the producers that are in there to make sure that all the story elements are being communicated and that you can kind of get your mind wrapped around whatever story there is. You know, it's tough. There's a lot of times where we don't even get to spend as much time with characters or games as we would like to. So it's a really rush process of like figuring out who he is, what he wants, and what he's doing at that particular time.
But that is the beauty of BlazBlue, is that since the stories are so developed, and you get all of those fun little animated sequences, you know, where people are talking and everything, you get to establish those characters more with that game.
We auditioned completely separately.
With that, with Halo, we worked together on that, and they didn't know that we knew each other, and we got cast on that.
No.
Avengers. Yeah, honestly, was it our very first mocap gig?
Yeah,
was together,
yeah.
And that just lucked out that way too. We went to Japan to film together, and like they didn't even know that we knew each other. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's never been like, was your wife interested in doing this as well, or is Travis interested in playing?
I mean, now it's gotten to the point that like I'll go into a session, and if Travis isn't on the game, then they usually say, and we're gonna get Travis in very soon, because we have a lot of parts coming up that we want Travis playing. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, not a prerequisite.
You don't have to qualify to me. It's cool.
Travis sucks. You don't want him in there.
But it's awesome, and you know, because mocap is becoming so much more prominent in video games. We both lucked out that we got in early on being involved in that process. And so we're some of the people that have done it the most in the industry. And that hence leads to more and more work. So we end up, you know, seeing each other a lot in projects just because there's a small group of people that are experienced with it and can come in and know the venue and know the movement and understand what we're supposed to do on the stage. So yeah, it happens a lot more.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, the booths at Funimation were whisper rooms. So it was like a tiny little closet with a mic in it. All air vents have been sealed so that they don't make noise, and it's just completely dead air in there, right? So it's pretty gross anyway, because people are in there 8 to 10 hours a day, and it's like
taking their shoes off, and it's hot
sweating, kind of stanky, you know, just gross. So Sean's recording for like 4 hours before me, and he's in there, and right before he gets done, he farts. And then exits the booth and closes the door really fast because he thinks it would be really funny to trap it in there. And I had a session right after him, so I hopped into the like Sean Schimmel fart air and then had to record for 4 hours.
The stink cloud.
Yeah, he was really proud of it.
On BlazBlue, we had a line. We were the male and lead protagonists, and
the male and lead. Protagonist.
Is that what I said?
That's
It is,
what
isn't
you
it? My brain isn't working now. A male and female protagonist. And my character had like leather pants and 80s rock hair and fingerless
space
gloves.
rock opera.
And he would take out this harmonica and he would throw it in his dramatic moment and spin it in the air and he would catch it. And they would say, "Feel my wind." Which is just the weirdest thing. And I would turn to the director and go, "Does it really translate to feel my wind? Feel my wind? That's what it says?" He's like, "That's what it says, Travis." So you had to be like, "Okay, feel my wind." This is so stupid, I can't say this. And it was this thing over and over, we couldn't get through it. And then at the very end, one of the last lines of the show was Laura character coming in and saying,
I think I was standing behind your character at the time, which makes it even worse. I said, "I can feel it. I can feel your wind."
and of course, you know, every time we were recording, we just go,
yeah, I mean, so there's just so many in that show. I feel like it lets us be free to try new things because, you know, it's hard when you're doing stuff on camera. You're pigeonholed so much, and it's so little to do with what you can do and so much to do with what you look like. And the beauty of voice acting is that you can be anything if you can create it.
Yeah, perfectly said. It's such a hard thing for actors to get to be confident in what you're doing, especially when it's just you and you're trying to market and sell. And I think through the years we've realized that our stuff is good enough, and our choices are good, and our imaginations are. So it's been a fascinating experience.
Yeah, you have to have confidence of steel because you get rejected so very much.
Every day.
So it teaches you to like accept the rejection and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Be very comfortable with rejection.
Yeah.
It's going to be there forever.